Today I'm going to show you how to replace the spark plugs in the 392 6.4 liter Hemi. To do this job, you will need a ratchet, a 5/8 spark plug socket, a spark plug gapping tool, aluminum anti-seize, a 10mm socket, a torque wrench, and different size ratchet extensions. The first thing we're going to do is slide the passenger seat forward so we can gain access to the compartment underneath that stores the battery. We're going to use a 10mm socket to remove the negative battery terminal on the battery. Next, we're going to pop off the plastic covers that are covering the fuel rail and ignition coils. These just lift right off. Now we're going to push in on the connector and pull up to remove the connectors off the ignition coil. Do this for all 8 coils. Now we will use a 10mm socket to remove the 2 10mm bolts that hold the coil on. Now the coil should pull right out. Next, we're going to use some dielectric grease and put a small amount on each rubber boot where the spark plug goes in. This will make it easier to pull the coil out the next time the spark plugs need to be changed. Now it's time to get those old spark plugs out of there. You may need to have a combination of different swivel mounts, ratchets, and extensions to get them out, due to some spark plugs being harder to reach than others. You will need a 5/8 inch spark plug socket to get these spark plugs out. Now it's time to open your new spark plugs. We're going to have to check the gap on these just to make sure they're correct to factory spec. So make sure you have a gap tool. I'll link the one I'm using here in the description. Next, we're going to use a little bit of aluminum anti-seize to dab on the spark plug threads. This will ensure the spark plug does not seize in the engine after it is installed. Now we are ready to put the new spark plugs back in. It is important that you hand thread these in. I like to put it in the spark plug socket with the extension on, gently lower it down until it stops, and then hand tighten it until I can't hand tighten it anymore. Next, we are going to get our torque wrench and set it to 10.5 foot-pounds. Factory torque spec for the 392 Hemi for spark plugs is 7.5 foot-pounds to 15 foot-pounds. When they give you a range like that, I like to find somewhere in the middle, so I just decided to do 10.5 foot-pounds. It is extremely important that you use a torque wrench and torque to factory spec. If they are too loose, it will cause problems. If you over tighten, you could strip it, and then you have even bigger problems. So make sure you use a torque wrench and tighten them within factory spec. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully this helped you install spark plugs on your 6.4 Hemi. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.